Hey, this is me building a $3 million a year business in public. The way these videos always go is I start by doing some YouTube comment Q&A, which does two things. One, it delivers value to people that are at the beginning stages of their AI and agency career. And two, it also helps me grow faster because every question that you guys drop on one of my daily updates channels makes my channel grow faster. Then I do growth stats across YouTube, Instagram, and products. I currently run a product called Maker School, which is the #1 community on School by Revenue. And then finally, I show you guys how to build in public. Today, we're going to be doing some lead generation live in public. I'm going to be doing some Upwork applications, and then I'm also going to be optimizing a cold email campaign. I got something like 10 responses in the last, 24 hours or so. So going to run you through what that looks like. I'm going to take y'all to the next level in demand gen. So this is the main channel, almost 149K subs. This is the daily updates channel. As I've mentioned, I'm going to do a lot of these questions today. The reason why is because we're at something like 8 days ago, and I always like pushing it so it's like 3 or 4 days ago. So get ready for some rapid fire value. Will these be the most in-depth answers? No, but are these going to be answers that you guys can do something with? Absolutely. Brazy says, how should I price my AI automation services since I just started? Should I focus on targeting small and local businesses for a couple $100 a month, or should I try and find firms with some capital already who can spend a couple thousand on my services? Also, would I do this via a monthly recurring payment or another way? Brazy, you are conflating how to price with what your audience should be. The two are very different things. You should obviously look for people that have money in their hands, that are suffering from a problem that costs a fair amount of money preferentially, and whose people you can scrape using automated methods primarily. But how should you price your AI automation services? You should do value-based pricing. Just have a look at this video right over here, the 7-figure AI agency pricing strategy that actually works. Google value-based pricing next Saraev and you'll find it. In terms of how to do this, I don't recommend monthly recurring right away. What I recommend is intro offer, which is a small, tightly scoped thing that you can knock out of the park extraordinarily quickly for them. After you've done some sort of intro offer, then you can move on to a recurring deal. Hey Nick, says Aiden945. What's the most cost-effective way to scrape leads? I don't have a huge budget and I'm trying to invest most of it in my cold email stack. I know about the Apify Apollo scraper, but that's been nerfed for the free plan users, so you could scrape max 100 leads per URL, and I don't want to spend $39 for Apify. Also, how do you deal with potential TAM issues? There are about 40K marketing companies in the US with lots of email accounts. You could burn through that pretty fast. Thanks for answering. Well, listen, you're not going to burn through that pretty fast if you're the sort of person that's not willing to spend $39 for Apify, right? $39 for Apify, by the way, doesn't mean that you're spending $39 plus the lead costs. Those are $39 in credits on Apify. So the way that the scraper works, the one that Aiden's referring to, is this Apollo scraper, and it's $1.20 per 1,000 leads. If you spend $39 on Apollo, then you basically get 32,500 leads. Now, if you are at a position where that's too much money for you, you're not going to run into a position where you kind of hit your TAM. Also, the question about TAM, I don't really find super important because marketing companies in the US between 1 to 10 people don't always have to forever be your audience. And it's not that there are 40,000 marketing companies in the US. They're probably like 150,000 marketing companies in the US. Also, when you exhaust one niche, you can very quickly and easily pivot slightly to the right and slightly to the left and find orthogonal niches that basically do the exact same thing. When you say marketing company, for instance, think PPC company, think creative agency, just think all of these different types of businesses. Your offer is going to work the same for them as it will for anybody else. So yeah, man, I mean, like if you don't want to spend the $39 for Apify, I get where you're coming from, but that's 33,000 leads potentially that you're leaving on the table, probably about 30,000 emails. Thank you, Synchro Labs. Adrian says, hey, Nick, regarding data management compliance and security like GDPR or the EU AI Act, what's your approach? How do you work on these aspects of business? Not sure if you've already covered these topics or if they're part of your Maker School, but if you could share some insights or best practices, it'd be awesome. Cheers, man. For sure, this is definitely part of Maker School. We chat about this a lot. I get a lot of European people, particularly in the Netherlands, Germany, and then like Western European countries like France and stuff as well, ask me questions about GDPR, and they're like, we can't do cold email. We can't do cold email. We can't do cold email. I'm not a lawyer, and this isn't legal advice. But technically, if you take that approach to everything in life, you can't cross the street except at a designated crosswalk. Life and business is a game of risk and reward. The way that I've tabulated in my head is that the potential risk of doing this is probably reasonably low because there are actual scammers out there sending tens of millions of emails every day. And you're not an actual scammer sending tens of millions of emails a day. You're probably sending a couple hundred. You're probably delivering some sort of value or asset to the person. You're probably building a high value offer. And I should note that the legal bases on which all of these things stand, like GDPR and like the EU Can Spam Act or whatever, are kind of shaky initially because all of this data is being scraped through LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, it's sort of like an opt-in thing where if you make a profile on LinkedIn and you add your work experience and stuff like that, like it is kind of expected that people will try and reach out to you on that platform, right? So that's kind of where all this stuff is coming from. I don't really worry about this too much, and I treat it the same way as a stop sign. It's like or a stoplight. It's like, do I always cross the street at designated crosswalks? For the most part, yeah, I do. But like, if there's no designated crosswalk nearby and there's no cars nearby, of course I'm going to walk through. It's going to save me time and energy. There are shortcuts to everything, and I don't know if I consider this a shortcut because it still takes a lot of work, but it's definitely a better way to frame this, I would say. And then if you want to talk legally, you could incorporate somewhere where this isn't a big deal. You could incorporate in the United States. You could sell to non-EU people. Variety of ways to get around it. What do you think of my method to getting my first clients? Cold calling businesses, ask them questions in an interview style. There are different processes and workflows to identify bottlenecks or areas of improvement. When I found a good problem to solve, I use that as my service and sell as a solution. It's obviously not scalable, but in the beginning, I think it's super valuable. Thanks for the awesome advice. Yeah, I mean, you could give this a try, for sure. Would I recommend cold calling in 2025? No, not really, unless I was in a very hyper-specific vertical. Simply because Loom videos do the same thing. Loom videos don't suffer from synchronous issues where the person has to be online while you're online. You don't have to deal with gatekeepers. You can just get the guy's email immediately and send it directly to the DM. Just way better. Also, you don't have the pressure of actually like having to deal with sales stuff live. You can actually build up like a pretty reasonable sales pitch through training without the downside risk of the person on the other end of the line being like, you're stupid, which stresses you out for no reason. So I would just do Looms personally, but whatever. This would work. Himanshu says, I wanted to ask, how much does AI automation typically cost per month? For example, if you're using a tool like N8N, there's a base cost of at least $32. Then you have the OpenAI API costs along with other third-party API expenses. Can you help me understand how all these costs add up on a monthly basis? Base cost of $32 per month is on their minimum plan. That's cloud hosting. OpenAI API costs, it really depends on what you're doing. It's all volume-based, but for me, I spend somewhere between 10 to 20 bucks a month usually. So you think about it as 32 plus 10, that's 42. Third-party API expenses are the big ones. If you want to run a cold email campaign, you're going to want to use a platform like Instantly. And if you want to use a platform like Instantly, realistically, you're going to have to do something like either 37 or 39 or 97 bucks a month. Then you have other tools like Appify, like the lovely Aiden was talking about earlier, and so on and so forth. So probably at least like 150 bucks a month. Now, this may be scary to you, but I just want you to conceptualize this. There's no cheaper business to get into. There's no more affordable business that has a capital cost of $150 a month to get into. It's crazy to think about it that way. Just a few years ago, you used to have to invest tens of thousands of dollars to start a business. You had to take out business loans. Now you can do so with like 1/20th the average salary. So if you work a 9 to 5, you take 1/20th of that salary and boom, now you can actually start doing things for yourself. Crazy low barrier to entry, right? Hey Nick, I'm from Belgium, and Belgian and Dutch SMBs are very behind on AI integration but are looking for it. I'm going through your vids and just drawing things out for myself. Would you advise the following? No overlearning, just scrape pure outreach and close. First client is learning more complicated automations while getting paid. Little proof through showcasing some builds with polish Airtable dashboards and then focus on outreach. What do you think? I think this is exactly how I would personally do it. I probably wouldn't use Airtable myself just because I don't like it as much as like Sheets or whatever. But yeah, man, that's how you do it. Hey Nick, I got introduced to AI automation first by you a few months back, and I tried to learn how AI automation works. Now I can make any automation by myself without any videos. Thank you. I've been trying to acquire clients for the past 2 months, have changed and improved my email several times, understood pain points, and created more AI agents to address these issues. Emailed 500 leads, but have yet to gain any clients, resulting in zero revenue. The journey won't be easy, but I'm looking to establish my presence on Instagram by posting reels. That'd be great if you could give me any advice or suggestions. Thanks. If you haven't had a client yet, I would stop posting reels entirely. I would also, instead of emailing nearly 500 leads, understand that you're going to have to email significantly more than 500 leads in order to win. You're probably going to have to email 5,000 leads, 10,000 leads, 20,000 leads, that sort of stuff. I understand this journey won't be easy. Now I'm looking to establish my presence on Instagram by posting reels. So yeah, the fact that you're saying this means you're probably just like getting demotivated. But dude, you gotta significantly decrease your expectations here regarding how many people you have to reach out to get a response. When I was going door to door for the better part of when I was going door to door for the first like 3 months of my door to door career, I knocked on something like, I don't know, but I think it was somewhere between 3 to 4,500 doors. In 3 months, I made $7. Obviously not an optimal approach, right? But I mean, that's me actually going to these businesses in person where they can't escape, where I actually had to talk to them. How many of the 500 people you've emailed have even like clicked on your email? Jared says, do you have the stats to show agency owners that make 50K in 90 days in your program? Not off the top of my head. But if you go to Maker School, well, I guess you can't if you're like kind of concerned about my case studies or whatever. If you just head over to the wins tab and then oh wow, look at that. Rick just went from 0 to 11K MRR in 10 days. Congratulations, Rick. Dude, funnily enough, Rick is actually an old client of mine. So funny. He, from way back in the good old days, Rick ran, and I think he still does, a company called Simply Noted. Let me give him a shout out just because he's really cool. Simply Noted, which basically, I guess is offline now, but he created robots who wrote letters that were handwritten, and then he like sent them via webhook to like realtors and stuff like that. So, man, Rico's a really cool guy, and he just joined my program, and he sent me a message about it, and it was wild. Okay, anyway, do I have like concrete proof? I guess what you want is, well, what do you want is my question. What do you want? Do you want yeah, like I'll be real. Do I go through this giant list of people that have like expressed wins and all the money that they're making and stuff like this, and then do I say, hey, can you send me some proof? Like, no, I obviously don't do that. Call it shitty or good business practice. I don't know. Like, I tend to just to trust people when they tell me that, they make this money and they post screenshots and stuff like this. But it's not like I have them like add me to their Stripe accounts. Anyway, man, I'm just going to scroll through here. Like, this is just the first page of wins. There are so many more. I think we have like 23 pages of wins. Just scroll through here and look for yourself. Contact any of these people that you want, ask them. But yeah, to be clear, it's not like every agency owner makes $50,000 in 90 days in my program. Very few of them do. Okay. It's not like you join and you're instantly guaranteed $50,000. Probably a more reasonable thing to make is probably like between $5,000 to $10,000 in 90 days, I would say. If we're talking net, sorry, not net, but gross and total, not like per month. But there are people that realistically, with or without my program, probably would have eventually succeeded. I just helped them succeed faster, and there are a lot of those wins. Just scrolling through the wins tab. So if anybody here has made a ton of money, just please help me out and comment on Jared's thing and tell him about how much money you made and whatnot. Stephen Law 0 says, I've started an LLM SEO agency, fully built all the funnels and backend automations. I'm currently on the fence of niching down LLM SEO or expanding into traditional AI automations agency with multiple tricks instead of just one. Wow. I wanted to ask if it's whether to continue in this business of LLM SEO, since traditional SEO is still very dominant, LLM SEO is barely starting to gain traction. Ooh, this is an interesting question. I don't think I have much exposure to this. So, okay. So LLM SEO, I guess this just means like SEO for like AI search snippets, right? If it's for AI search snippets specifically, should you continue this? Yeah, I think you should continue this. I mean, like, I get so much traffic from AI search snippets now, which is crazy. You type in like best N8N tutorial or whatever in a ChatGPT, and like a lot of the time it pulls me up. Or that other guy. We don't talk about that other guy. I think that's reasonable, man. I don't have too much knowledge, I don't have too much knowledge about LLM SEO specifically, but I also don't have too much context here, so it's hard for me to tell you whether you should continue with this or not. But thank you for putting this down here at least. Gives me something to think about. Nick, please answer. What do you think is more effective, cold calling car detailers or DMing them to ask if I can send them a Loom video? I've already answered this question, I believe. I'm not entirely sure if I have, but I'm pretty sure I did. Oh, yeah. You mentioned before the Loom is a more respectful form of outreach and asynchronous, doesn't demand their time like a cold call does. I have a list of 2,800 car detailers, their phone, and the owner's name. For that, I've scraped this many and that many. Some businesses are in both. The smart move is split test for 4 to 6 weeks, double down on what works. But if you had to just choose one method for the start, where do you go with? Interesting. So it's car detailers, huh? I mean, like, listen, I don't know what I said last time, but I don't remember it being car detailers specifically. If this is car detailers, I might actually cold call them. Yeah, because car detailers, like, they're usually in the shop or doing some detailing, right? Like, you're probably not actually going to be able to like reach them through cold email. There's some exceptions to my like Loom rule, and I think this might be one of them. Another one is like general contractors. Another one is like auto shops. Another one is like people that are like highly, like, they run businesses that intersect deeply with the physical world, but then they're very unlikely to actually be like by their email address, and they do most of their business through phone. Like, these are actually okay people to cold call. So I may have answered something differently. Hopefully I'm not like completely running you around in circles, but yeah, man. Great timing on this. I'm not 18 yet. What should I do? Cold DMs through X and LinkedIn and Twitter and so on and so forth. Instead, just do the same number of pieces of outreach as you would if you're doing Upwork. Vasislav says, making videos in the airport. That's some real dedication. Ali says, thank you. Forsaken says, I just finished doing this. Thank you. UV says, love this channel so much. Thank you. Thank you. Started making content on IG and grew pretty well last year. Want to start documenting a journey like you as well. How would you do it for starting from zero? Do you prepare these ahead? How long does it take you? Thank you, man. Nope. I just built a little format and I say, hey, today I'm going to talk about this, that, and that, and that. And then I just dive in. I have zero editing, no nothing. It's just all OBS. I export directly to YouTube. Thanks for the value you provide. I have a client who wants a system, and I worked without upfront payment. I have our agreement and WhatsApp messages. You're impressed and grateful, but he's now 16 days late on payment and keeps giving excuses. What should I do? Well, you shouldn't work with upfront payment unless you have some very clearly and quantifiable guarantee. You also should never put yourself in a position where you have liability that you're taking on behalf of the client. That's why I always recommend you have clients pay for things to express at least the smallest amount of commitment in a guarantee type scenario. I would definitely not, I definitely wouldn't like worry too much about it. 16 days late is late. Don't get me wrong, but it's not that late. I've had clients before that are like 45, 60 days late. Those guys are real pains in my ass. If I were you, I would just follow up with them every couple of days, and I would be very polite about it. I'd be like, hey, just wanted to check in on X, Y, and Z. Hey, listen, man, it's been like 18 days here. Is there something I can do to help? Like, would you mind just let me know how I can make this easier for you. Maybe he just doesn't have the capital. Maybe he jumped into a situation that he just wasn't fully prepared for, and so on and so forth. Maybe you need to make some arrangement with him where you take half of the payment and you take some other half, keeping in mind that half now is better than zero forever, right? So yeah, congrats on the client, man. I mean, I'm proud as hell of you, but in the future, just make sure you collect some sort of payment, okay? It'll make your life a lot easier. Okay, OMG, this business model is at its peak time. Itu krodos la earn panda mudium. I don't really know what that means. Is that Indonesian or is that maybe Tagalog or something? Rahul M? I don't know who that is, but thank you very much, Rahul M. Cool. Hey, Nick, love your vids. Was wondering, how do you put a price to your systems? A repeat customer of mine with 10 employees wants a system that saves in 3 hours per client they onboard. Pretty technical build. I estimate it'll take 40 hours to build and test. Great question, my man. Just type in Nick Saraev value-based pricing here, and I run you through all of the different ways you could price a project like that. My recommendation is to go value-based. So you say it takes them 3 hours per client off of their plate. How much money is the role that you are replacing? In addition, what is the opportunity cost of you being able to do that instantly, as opposed to over the course of however long it normally takes to do that? Realistically, 3 hours times, let's say $30 an hour or something like that, isn't that much money. It's $100 times 4 per month. That's $400 a month. But the opportunity cost of this thing could be that because they can do it faster and easier, whatever, they're capable of signing an additional client a month. And if the clients that they're signing are $5,000 a month, well, now it's like a total value system is $400 a month. And you can charge a third of that, or about, $2,000, something like that. That's how I would go about pricing this out, all right? Saraev said, first off, thanks for your videos. Quick cue, I've been learning AI automation agents the past 2 months. Tried building some workflows by following your videos, so now I understand how things work, how to build. Do you think it's the right time to start reaching out to clients as a freelancer for scaling into an agency? Yes, I do, absolutely. Bro, why your team deleted my questions? I don't know what you're talking about. I also don't have a team here. Oh, I know why they deleted them, because you just posted the same thing on multiple videos. When you do this, YouTube just, they're just going to remove yours. So if you just post the same thing on 10 different videos, it'll just be automatically removed. Hey, Nick, my offer is sales systems, email outreach, connect with 2 to 3 different clients from school community, but I suck during delivery because I don't know, should I hand over the sales system to them and they generate the leads by themselves? Or should I do it by myself, keep the system? And suppose I offer 2 to 3 clients for 14 days free trial, something like free testimonials. Who pays for the domains, email sending software, and lead scrapers? My recommendation for you is guarantee the clients a certain amount of results, but then make them sign up to instantly the email enrichment platforms, buy the domains, and then get the lead scrapers. Their total out-of-pocket cost is going to be like a couple $100 or something like that in total for month 1, and then like $100 a month repeat. So they do have some small buy-in, which is very important. And then they only actually pay you the $2,000 or how much money you're charging when you deliver your guarantee. That is how I would personally do it. Now, should you hand over the sales system to them, they generate leads by themselves? I mean, in your case, I'm just pattern matching here, but I don't think you probably understand too much about how to actually generate the lead. So in your case, you could just hand over the sales system to them and then charge them money, and that's fine. But I do generally recommend that you run a managed service. That's where you do everything for them, end to end. Just because that allows you to significantly improve the probability of you delivering results. Most people that are in this situation want lead gen systems because they don't know how to generate leads. So you just give them a system that's not going to solve their problem. Jemerson says, hey, Nick, just wondering, do you already have a video editor on your side? If not, do you mind having a video editor? I do. Thank you very much. Frank Yan says, hey, Nick, watching one of your videos where you said template everything out. There's a specific process for this. If so, can you dive a little bit deeper into it? Thank you. Are you talking about the Upwork stuff? No, I guess this is a week ago. Template everything out. I mean, I do template everything out. Like I template out my Upwork apps. I template out a lot of my emails. I template out a lot of my messaging. The reason why is just because there's no use rebuilding the wheel every time, right? Unfortunately, I don't really have enough context to give you more, Frank. Tahi Rally says, quick question on token usage. What's the average number of tokens I should be aiming for when building an AI agent? I tried building one in N8N that just checks availability in a calendar and books their meeting. It's using like 3K tokens according to the Anthropic console logs. However, the N8N editor shows only 701.2K tokens used. Well, I'm interested to hear more about that mismatch, but I imagine it's 701.2K tokens used on like the direct call, but there might be a little bit of reasoning going on. Additionally, there may be it calling the tool multiple times. So maybe that's why there's a mismatch. What token usage should you be aiming for when building out an AI agent? I'll be real, man. I don't really sell AI agents. I mean, I've sold a couple of these, but I don't really like sell AI agent chatbot style things because I just don't really find them super valuable. So I'm not the best person to ask on this. How much money would it cost to run one of these things? Rest assured, it would be extraordinarily marginal in the grand scheme of things, unless you're just paying for all of it yourself with like the most updated model, like GPT 4.5 or something. If you're using like GPT 4.1 Mini, or if you're using one of like the cheaper Claude models, I wouldn't really worry about this cost at all, unless somebody's just spamming you constantly. I missed another daily upload. I don't think I did. Don't think I did. I've got college starting in September. I've been thinking about what course fits me. I picked mechanical engineering, but got really interested in AI, automation, also business stuff. I thought comp sci I thought comp sci was the best picked, but I thought some say coding could get replaced by AI. Do you think it's a good choice? What kind of modules should I look for so the course is actually worth it, keeps me interested? And how much does the degree matter if I want to get into the space? Should I be learning other stuff on the side too? I don't have a degree about AI and automation, and I'm probably like the biggest AI automation guy right now by revenue. So no, you don't need a degree whatsoever. My degree's in basically like biology, so not at all really that related. Should you be learning other stuff on the side too? Yeah, college is not going to make you the money at all. College is like years behind for the most part. College is cool because it puts you in a room with a bunch of other people that are approximately your age, and you get to like learn a lot of great social skills. And you also learn some things that are expected of you as a member of civilized society. It can also be good to build some additional foundational knowledge, keeping in mind that the foundational knowledge will be taught to you academically, not practically, and you have to like unfuck yourself, pardon my French. But I wouldn't recommend you do a comp sci, no. I would do something like mathematics. I would do something like behavioral neuroscience. I would do something that's like a lot more like people focused, to be honest. I don't know if I'm right with that. Physics is cool. Mechanical engineering is like reasonably cool, but like basically you just want to learn how the world works more than you actually want to learn a particular thing, because college's ability to teach you a particular thing is lacking. But their ability to teach you in general how the world works is okay. Ziad says, thanks for all the value. I have a prospect that does production and export of fresh organic products. They're big in my country. They want some kind of AI agent that's integrated with 300 mailboxes, basically up to date with everything happening, is able to answer questions about operational status updates on all the email conversations happening. When asked by the manager, is all of that as an Outlook add-on? My question is the tech even there to be able to make this feasible? I'm planning on using Pinecone, but I'm just worried 300 mailboxes will be too much for it to be worth using. No, you could totally do something like this. It's just, it's not going to be totally 100% automatic, I don't think. Basically, what you need, high-level architecture of the system, is you need to have a flow where, I don't know why I can't select my freaking pen tool. Okay. High-level flow that scheduled maybe once a day or something like that. And then like inbox to knowledge base tool. So basically you just need a scheduled thing where like once a day it goes through all 300 mailboxes, it gets all of like the recent sent emails, and then it summarizes those sent emails into facts, then it adds those facts to a knowledge base. So basically it's like, depending where you're using N8N or make.com, I'll just do the make.com thing. Schedule it's that it's a daily thing at 8 a.m. Gets all of the emails sent in the last 24 hours, iterates through all of the mailboxes and does that, gets a giant thing, and then for every mailbox, it summarizes those into a list of facts, passes that list of facts through a second AI call that removes all of the duplicates in that list of facts, and then adds that to your Pinecone or VectorDB. Then you have the actual, what did you say here? What did you call it? AI agent. Then the AI agent node calls the knowledge base every single time that it answers something. And now it has access, theoretically, to all of that knowledge. And because you're compressing it in terms of facts and stuff like that, it won't really cost you too much. But that's how you do something like that in practice. Okay? Okay, all right. I think I'll leave it there because I'm up to 5 days and we're already at 20 minutes. Let's now do some brand stats. Brand stats being obviously where I go through my platforms over the course of the last 24 hours and count up the subscribers and stuff. So 148,660 on this channel. So I've only gone up by 749, very much underrepresented compared to yesterday. My Instagram channel is now at over 230 240,000 subs, which is incredible. My God, that thing continues to balloon. Then the daily updates channel over here, where I'm delivering value in real time to all y'all, is 7,666. So I'm gone up by 93. This is to be expected because I'm now putting my balls on the table and doing lead gen and real outreach in front of everybody, which is by far the most valuable thing that anybody wants to see. So, a little update on my Upwork stuff. I got one reply out of the 5 proposals that I sent. This was this dude who wanted some gig. I unfortunately didn't respond to him early enough. And as I was talking about with you guys when I recorded the video, or right before I recorded the video, he wants every single listing of the working data shown in the video. I don't actually really want to do this project. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like, I could take this on, but I don't really want to do it. I don't really want to build like a big Appify rotating proxy solution because I don't really think that'd be very valuable for you guys. I also don't think that'll look super sexy. So listen, if I was one of you guys and I was at the start line of my business and somebody threw this at me, I'd probably take it and I'd muddle through and I'd like make $1,500 or $2,000 or whatever the guy was offering. But I'm not, so I don't have to do that. And I want the sales calls that I jump on and I want the conversations to like not suck. I want them to be like reasonable. I want them to be like about AI and automation, not about like, how do you scrape things like scrape with rotating proxies, which most of you guys wouldn't understand. On the instantly side of things, if I go to the Unibox here, I've received a ton of positive replies. So got one from this dude. Melinda did not like me. Josh said, is this actually you or Nick? Squad says, thanks for the email. SJ Dodd says, Kim, give me your number. I opened up a couple other ones. Albert, I'm okay to be a test dummy. Unsubscribe, attracted me smart. Okay, so I mean, how many positive? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think 7 positive leads now in the last 24 hours of running the campaign. So like, listen, is this the best results ever? No, they're not very good results because I'm sending at a volume of like 1,000 emails a day. Okay. The 2 little caveats I want to make here, because I'm going to have to optimize that out of this campaign. This is not doing that well. I mean, it's at a 0.5% reply rate. Opportunities are being underrepresented, but it's still a 0.5% reply rate. 2 things to keep in mind. Okay. I'm not counting this across the 2,425 because statistically, most people don't respond to emails right away. So what I'm actually counting this on is 300 plus 823 is 1,123. So I received, what did I say back there? Was it 7 opportunities out of 1,123? 7, 1, 1, 2, 3. That puts me at a 0.6% positive reply rate. Okay. 0.6% positive reply rate is not the best in the whole wide world. I'm used to significantly higher positive reply rates, to be clear. You can totally build a business of a 0.6% reply rate. Totally. There's nothing stopping you from doing so. If you just sent 2,000 emails a day at a 0.6% reply rate, I mean, what's the math there? 0.06 times 2,000 is equal to 120. Oh, sorry, 0.006 is equal to 12. You could get, 12 replies a day if you were just running this. And then some portion of those return into meetings. Hopefully you guys see how easy it is. But I still want this campaign to be a lot better than that. Like, I don't want to win through volume because not everybody here has like $650 a month to spend on these damn mailboxes, right? So we're going to do some tweaking. I mean, like, one thing worth considering is that only 12% of these have been opened. This does seem to be like severely underperforming compared to a lot of the other things that I've done. So I'm curious if maybe there's something going on with my deliverability, which I'll check into. And then, yeah, I mean, these sequences are probably very overdone at this point because I've released a video that has hit over 200,000 people where I basically built the exact same sequence, not the exact same, a little bit different. If you think about it mathematically, like, the markets that I was targeting are probably heavily saturated with this sort of messaging now because 200,000 people saw it. If even 1% of those people run email campaigns, it's 2,000 people. If every one of those people run to like 200 people a day, that's like 2,000 times 200. That's 4 million, right? 2,000, no. Yeah, that's 4 million. It's like 4 million emails were sent in the last little while. 2,000 times 200. It's at 400,000. Sorry, 400,000 emails a day are being sent with my messaging, realistically. So, not surprising here because the total size of this niche is probably like 400,000 to begin with. How many times are we redoing this, right? So you do need like different approaches. You can't just copy the templates that I share with you guys word for word and then go out there and do it because everybody else is going to do that because they're all, super low effort and they don't believe in themselves and they think that it's a magical sequence of words or whatever. It's a magical sequence of words temporarily, of course, but the thing you should focus on is not the tactic, it's the higher level strategy. Okay, so with all that said, what do we got now? So we've sent enough messages for me to iterate this now. We have. If I go down to analytics, check this out. We actually have numbers here. So what are we getting here? Looks like sequence A is where we should be putting all of our eggs in. Sequence B does not seem to be performing anywhere near as well. Looks like we got a 0% reply rate on sequence B and 1 opportunity compared to 5. So if I go back to my sequences, I think what's killing me here is probably this. Not sure. I think it's killing me though. So this actually worked better, which makes sense because I spent way more time on this. So it's out of right now. We can turn this off safely. Let me now preview this. Wait, how do I preview this again? Am I stupid? Oh, right. It's over here. I am stupid. Hey, Lynn, love heads up. Also in marketing, wanted to run something by you. We haven't talked before. Have poked around heads up on LinkedIn. Reminds me a lot of my old agency. Pacific Creative Group. Maybe I should try this. This is my old agency. Group. I started this with a friend of mine. We scaled it, and we scaled it to around 10,000. I like this. This sounds really good. Conversational shit. I love conversational shit because then people get on the call with me and they're like, wow, you're a real person. Just living in Vancouver, and we scaled it to $10,000 a month. There's a lot of my old agency, Pacific Creative Group, poked around heads up on LinkedIn, and it reminds me a lot of my old age. So this may work. Friend of mine back when I was living in Vancouver. Not super crazy, but let's see if we could take the same energy. We did this just entirely autonomously. My old website agency, Pacific Creative Group, started it with a friend of mine from college, and we scaled it to $10,000 a month. Not super crazy, but we did this almost entire autonomously. Basically, I put together an outreach system that uses AI to find people hiring web site devs. Then it pitches them with templates, actually makes them a demo site. Okay, this is probably what everybody's copying me, and it costs just a few cents to run very high converting. Can I say this? Actually makes them a demo site. And everything seems really customized. I know this is out of left field. But I'm confident we could do something similar. But curious if there'd be customized. We peaked at around 20K 1 month. Okay. Although this was a lifetime ago. I know it's out of left field, but curious if there'd be, maybe I shouldn't even mention this. Month. Ended up not having enough capacity. Curious if there'd be interest in this. I'm pretty confident It would crush. It would do well for you. Would build this. I'd build it entirely. I'd build it for you and do all of the work. Just wanted work. You wouldn't, there'd be no strings, and I'd just put it in front. We could run it a couple of weeks and see if there's interest. Okay. Okay. We haven't talked before, but I poked around heads up on LinkedIn. It reminds me a lot of my old site agency, Pacific Creative Group. Started with a friend of mine at college, and we scaled it to around $10,000 a month. Not super crazy. I know it's not. I know it's not super crazy, but we did this. Revenue was not super crazy, but we did this almost entirely autonomously. Basically, I put together an outreach system AI that finds people hiring site devs, then pitches them with templates, actually makes them a demo site, offers it to them for a small fee. I peaked at around 20K one month, ended up not having enough capacity, so we rolled it down. I know it's out of left field, but curious if you'd be up for something similar. I'm pretty confident it'll do well for you. I'd build up front and do all of the work. There'd be no strings, and I could even run it for you for around 2 weeks. 2 weeks and see if you get calls. So now what I'm doing is I'm like hedging, and I'm saying, maybe it's not going to work super well. If you're open, I just need maybe 10 minutes of your time on a call, or time to sort out next steps. Let me know your thoughts when you have a sec. Thanks for the attention. Cheers, Nick. Oh, we shouldn't say Nick here. Okay. All right. This seems reasonable. I really like the conversational approach, so I don't know if this is going to work, but I think it will. Did I say Nick in any one of these? No, I didn't. All right. Cool. Oh, oh shit. Oh, can I not do this? That sucks. You know what? I can't actually do this because I don't have the company name. I don't have the organization name, but like the organization name isn't sanitized. Look at this. This is fine, but this is a dead giveaway that I'm bullshitting them. A lot of my old website let's just say, I helped around on your LinkedIn. You guys remind me a lot of my old website agency, Pacific Creative Group. Started with a friend of mine in college. We scaled to 10K a month. Revenue was not super crazy, but we did this almost entirely autonomously. Basically put together an AI that finds people hiring site devs and pitches them with templates, actually makes them a demo site and offers it to them for a small fee. Peaked at around 20K a month, ended up rolled it down. Anyway, I know this is out of left field, but curious if you'd be up for something similar. I'm confident it would crush for you, just given positioning. I'd build it up front, do all the work. There'd be 0 strings, and I'd even run it for you for 2 weeks. For you out of pocket for 2 weeks and see if you get any calls. Then if you're open, we could work out some sort of deal, but up to you. Your thoughts when you have a sec? Thanks for the attention. Cheers, Kat. That seems reasonable. Let's do first name Q. And now let's just add a bunch of variants with subjects, okay? So let's now copy this whole email. Then instead of first name Q, I'll say, does this work? First name. Then this one, instead of first name Q, paste this in here. Hmm. For Peter. Okay. Okay. All right. Now we have a bunch of variants that are running in the background, which should be good. So we'll see how these go. Do we just get another reply? No, I don't think we got another reply. Okay, cool. Oh, you guys didn't see any of that. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Okay, I was just doing a bunch of the copywriting, and I realized that I didn't share my screen for like 30 minutes. So that was kind of embarrassing. Anyway, what I ended up doing was I crafted a bunch of new sequences. Real shame because I did all the copywriting like live on screen, but whatever. I ended up with new sequences. So I turned off the sequence that didn't work, which is B. And then I ended up turning on, I turned off the step that didn't work, the variant that was B. And then I turned on a new one. And this one's a little bit different. We haven't talked before, but poked around your LinkedIn. You guys remind me a lot of my own website agency, blah, blah, blah. And then I say, I just need maybe 10 minutes or time to sort out next steps. Okay. I then created a couple of duplicates of my previous ones, and then I changed the subject line because I have a feeling the subject line might have something to do with it as well. So while I was doing this, I received 2 more replies. One of them was this, and then I received somebody saying, remove me. This other person said, stop. So got some good replies, which is cool. But yeah, suffice to say that I need a monitor so I could see when I'm sharing my screen. I just went in, I went into YouTube post and then I changed this. It's not that big of a deal, but just definitely do not like having to do that sort of stuff live. So, what did I just do here? I basically just iterated on my email campaign, right? Which is pretty cool. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to set up notifications because for whatever reason the notifs weren't coming. So I'm just going to go to App Store, and then I'm just going to set up Instantly's inbox. I thought I had this, and I guess I didn't because I'm not getting these replies. Look at my face. Cool. And basically what's going to happen is when somebody replies to me, I'm just going to get a little notification that looks like this. Then I'll be able to go through my phone and respond to it on the go. So it's going to be annoying. I'm going to do some notification culture stuff. But the reality is if I don't do this, then conversion rate on replies like tanks. So you do have to do this if you want to like crush. So that's that. Yeah, a couple things. Obviously, that Upwork stuff didn't, we got, how many did we send now? 8, and we got 1 reply. So let's just do some stats on the outreach. It's Upwork templates, I think, actually. Okay, one sec. Let me just move this back here, and then I'm going to find the sending templates for Upwork. We're going to call this Upwork Template Bank. Then over here, I'm going to call this daily tracking. Today, I'm going to say number of applications sent. Well, let's just say sent. Well, no, let's say date. Here we'll go sent, and then we'll go replied. Now, a lot of people think you have to be super rigorous with this stuff. You don't. I'm not going to be keeping up attribution where I count up which leads converted into which replies, booked meetings or calls. All I'm going to be doing is I'll just be tracking date. So I have dates over here. A couple days ago when I started this was June 29th, I think. I think I sent 3, and it was 0, 0, 0. Now it's June the 30th. I sent 5. I got 1, 0, 0. today is going to be July 1st. Probably going to send 5. We'll go 1, 0, 0 probably. I mean, like, it depends. We'll see. But this is like the extent of the tracking that I'm going to be doing with my Upwork template bank, okay? I'm then going to, and I will respond to these. I'm probably just not going to respond to them like live for time reasons. Now I'm going to go through my lead gen, and eventually, like tomorrow, I'm probably going to have to scrape more leads here because I can tell I'm already running out of leads at the volume that I'm sending. I'll go automation. And then what I'm going to do is on Upwork, open up a bunch here. This was posted 2 months ago. I don't really want one that was posted 2 months ago. I want verified payments. JHL expert? No. Move support to intercom? No. Automate YouTube Shorts quotes plus voiceover plus video plus publication. Nice. Automation expert, GUI-based system? No. Voice assistant? Nice. That's cool, Vappy. Yeah, I like that. Pipefy Monday optional N8N. That looks good. I love consulting firms. Pipe drive sales cycle? Okay. Cool. $500 an hour? Oh, proven Airtable setup? I don't have one of those. Ocean, Notion, no. These were posted yesterday. These must be featured or something. I want the ones that are early. AI automation expert home services. Okay, that seems good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do one more. Okay, that looks good. Nice, that looks pretty good. Let's just open up the apply now pages for all these. Now let's run through my work. So marketing automation, just Europe only. Oh, that's annoying. I have to be in Europe. Well, in that case, we're not going to do the application there. We're just going to find one more. Repurposing and uploading video content via N8N. Nice. That seems pretty good. I do that stuff all the time. Cool, cool, cool. That sounds great. Totally tons of experience doing this. Okay, so there's that, right? Hourly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the fixed price gigs, stick this at the end. I'll grab all of the hourly gigs now, and then I'm just going to find the hourly rate. And then I'm just going to Command F all of these. The reason why is because now I can just jump in here and modify these. So I'm going to do like 75.50. I'll do like, I don't know, 117.63, go like 85.35, and then I'll go 75.50 again. And then rate increase, I'm also going to do the same thing here. The reason why is because I can very quickly and easily say never, and then I just go like this, never, 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 right? Like I basically just template all this stuff out. Then finally, what I want is I want cover letter. So I'm just going to go here, cover letter. And now I just jump to the same part of the page, which makes it really easy for me to paste in my cover letter, right? And then I just do this for this one. So I'll just go placeholder. I'll just go $100 because I want to maximize the probability of getting the gig. And then I just set the duration to whatever their duration is, 1 to 3 months. Okay, so now I just do cover letter. Awesome. So that seems pretty reasonable, right? I have everything basically done and good to go. What I'll do now is I'll just go to my template bank, and yeah, I have everything that I need. Okay, so repurposing and uploading video content via N8N. Oh, that's great. Actually, I have like a template that does exactly what they're asked for, and it got like 1,000 views in the last couple of days. That's sick. Okay, how about this one? Pipe drive sales cycle. I feel like I just need to go like basic here, I think. Yeah, I don't have any examples of pipe drive, but I'm very, very familiar with it, so I'm just going to try bullshitting for a bit. GHL? Oh, wait, this is a GHL thing? Shit, man, I can't do the GHL stuff. Oh, that sucks. I don't want to do GHL. Okay, yeah, I mean, this one is obviously a really shitty job, so I should probably find more. Like, if I'm gonna do this, I should probably do it right. Let me just type in N8 and see what happens. Yeah, a lot of the time, just finding the gig is a big chunk of the work that you will do, right? Hmm. These are probably the ones that I'll use then. This one okay? Yeah, that one's fine. Okay, this one's okay too. 75, 50, 35. 75, 35. That seems good. Okay. Go never. We'll go never. And yeah, we just got the cover letter, right? Okay, cool. So listen, all of these I think I can actually do in a reasonable amount of time. They're not going to be total shit. Daily football news, Premier League, global football headlines. Cool. Short summary delivered to my ClickUp every morning. Yeah, for sure. For sure I can do that. I built out tons of flows like this. Let me go to my make.com account actually. Digest? What's the closest automation that I have to this? Daily research system that pulls in top football news specifically. Yeah, I could totally do this. What is similar to that? Let's think. Can I just run this? No. Should probably go back. I want something with Apify, right? Just gonna quickly run through all of these. Oh no, none of these ran in so long that like I don't actually have any data. That sucks. I'd love to be able to like look at the data. Huh. So you guys got to keep in mind, I'm trying not to use my YouTube here, right? I have a bunch of people that are like, "Hey Nick, why don't you make a new Upwork profile?" You can't. If you make a new Upwork profile, you get banned. You can only have one, so it's not like I can like not have any of my social proof here. But I'm trying not to use my YouTube because I don't want it to be like abundantly easy. So instead, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to like keep my social proof to stuff that you guys would realistically be able to use, right? But it'd be so much easier if I could use my YouTube. Why? Because I have like a bunch of clips of me doing this thing specifically. So that would save me so much time because now I have to like go and recreate the thing, which is a massive pain in my ass. Let's just look at how many operations were consumed here. Mm, okay, well, whatever. Let's open up Loom now. It's going to reduce my video quality pretty substantially. I've noticed this happens every time I open up Loom, unfortunately. There you go. So it just reduced the video quality, which kind of sucks, but is what it is. Let's give it a go. Let's just try and bang all of these out as quickly as humanly possible. Hey, I saw that you wanted somebody to help you curate and collect a bunch of football news, and I thought I'd blow your socks off. Blow your socks, okay. We're redoing that. We're doing that. Hey, my name's Nick. I saw you were looking for somebody to help you with a bunch of football daily scraping and curation. I thought I'd blow your socks off with a quick video. First of all, my father is in love with football in general, so I have a lot of exposure to various hierarchies of Premier League teams and whatnot. But that's not why I'm applying to this. I'm applying to this because I consider myself like the foremost expert on basically doing exactly what you're asking for, which is taking content and then pumping it through AI for some sort of repurposing purpose, having that iterate or change the thing that you are sourcing, and then summarizing it usually in like an email or like a Google Doc or something. So I'm iterating through all of these because these are all content automations that I've built. I'm a make.com partner and also an N8N creator. N8N obviously kind of like the more modern analog to make.com a lot of people are using. And actually, like, I know this is a different platform, but I thought I'd just run you through this. Like, this is an Instagram content repurposing flow that would like just hook up almost one for one with what you're doing. We would just swap out one module, this run actor synchronicity module, and it would work great. Same thing with all of these. So anyway, I understand that this is not very interpretable to you right now. So to make it a little bit more relevant, you wanted something specifically that scrapes like the Premier League on three different levels. You would want an individual Premier League team scraper, Premier League news scraper, and a global football headline scraper. So they're very simple and easy ways to do all three of these. Individual Premier League team, I mean, it depends. We would need to find a data source. So let's just go to Premier League teams. Then I'm just going to accept these. And I don't know why this specific page isn't opening. So maybe I'll go back over here. But I just want a big list of them. So let's say like Arsenal. And then what you could do is you could type Premier League Arsenal News. What happens there is you then end up with this curated Google News list. And so we can see Kepa Arrizabalaga, has a bunch of stuff about him, for instance. What we do is we would take either this Google search URL or we'd use this third-party platform called Appify, which allows you to scrape like Google News. Okay, so you put in a search term. Search term would be something like, Premier League Arsenal News. And then you'd receive a bunch of data. And the data that you'd receive, if I just scroll down here to the output, would be stuff like the title, the link, the GUID, that's just an ID, and then like a bunch of stuff about the various sources that did the publishing, okay? The cool thing is, with this link, what you could then do is you could feed this into AI and ask AI to like do a little bit of reading of it. So basically, our system would start with some sort of scraper like this at either the individual team level or even just more broadly like Premier League news or even more broadly like global football news. So probably you'd have 3 scenarios. And then all of those scrapers would run once a day or whatever cadence you want. Then we'd get the URLs of the specific links, and then we would pass those links through AI, have AI read them, and then summarize them, probably just send you like a daily digest email. I imagine a daily digest email is what you want. So you mentioned nothing overcomplicated. This is basically the name of the game. For me, I bid significantly more than your hourly range just because my hourly rate on the platform is $117.63. But, for full transparency, I'm looking to get back into things and then build relationships with people that I can turn into long-term sorts of things. So that's kind of like what all of this is to do. Like, I'm not looking just to do like a one-off project. I could probably do this thing for you in, I don't know, 5 hours or something, have it for you on your desk before the end of the day. But my goal is, this is obviously something that you're building to be a little bit more involved. I have the skill set to do anything like this extraordinarily straightforwardly and easily. And I don't overcomplicate things. I focus on like revenue-based outcomes. So if that's what you care about, if you care about just like, brass tacks, getting down to it, ground floor, boots on the ground, like whatever you want to call it. If you just want somebody that gets things done, I'm definitely your guy. So I'm going to write a little cover letter here, make it all nice and sexy. Hopefully you click on this and then we get in touch. If that sounds good, just let me know. Send me a message on Upwork and then we can have a quick chat, okay? And I can build this thing out for you, no problem. Cheers. Cool, that's number 1. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? Let's move on to this one, N8N developer. Hey, my name's Nick. I'm an N8N dev, and I just saw that you were looking for an N8N dev. I am an N8N creator. I publish templates on N8N's creator page all the time. I published this one, and this one received like 1,000 views in the last 24 hours or so. I don't say any of this to brag, just to tell you that like I'm an N8N dev that is not trusted by just, 1 or 2 clients on Upwork, but, like the entirety of both N8N, the platform, and then people that download templates from N8N creators like myself. So I'm more than happy to help you build out whatever you need. I obviously have an active N8N account and I build N8N flows all the time. You'll also see I have a bunch of tabs open here. That's like a make.com, which is very similar to N8N, but I have a bunch of experience in that platform too. And yeah, I would consider probably myself one of the strongest N8N devs probably on Upwork right now. So yeah, not to toot my own horn, but if you want somebody that like helps you improve ops for whatever your sort of business is, I'd be more than happy to do so. Just let me know what you need to see from me to, believe in that. And if you have any skepticism surrounding this, just Google like Nick Saraev, N8N. I'm probably one of the, most popular people right now that could help you with what it is that you are asking, just because of the templates and stuff like that I've created. Okay, let me know. I'm more than happy to work with you, not just on this one project, but on future projects. Give me a shout and we can make something happen. Thanks. Dang it, I forgot that I couldn't mention my YouTube. Fuck. All right, whatever. Is what it is. 1 out of 5, huh? Hey, so you were looking for somebody to help you re-upload, do a bunch of repurposing, and so on and so forth. I'm going to knock your socks off right now. This is all I do all day long. Basically, like one of the foremost experts on repurposing and uploading video content in NADN. So much so that I actually have an NADN creator page over here with one of my templates, which gained like 1,000 views in the last day or so, specifically about automating Instagram reel scraping and then turning that into a script and then modifying the script. So if I just scroll all the way up here and we actually just take a peek at this, this is more or less exactly what you're asking for. I just think that you're asking for it on Google Drive or Dropbox, but I want you to know that you can do the exact same thing with any platform, whether it's Instagram or TikTok or whatever. But basically, we're running an actor. An actor is a scraper on a platform called Appify, which is right now like the simplest and easiest way to get up and running, scraping structured data sources like social media or that sort of thing. And then what I'm doing is I'm just running an HTTP request for that actor, which allows me to scrape a bunch of people here. So here are a bunch of people that I'm scraping, for instance, Julian Goldie, SEO, BrandNet, Rio Riley Brown, Hamza Automates, whatever. These are all just like Instagram channels to talk about AI. And then what I'm doing is I'm doing some sort of smart duplicate prevention where I run through a Google Sheet and then drop dupes before finally downloading the video. And here's the part that concerns you. Transcribing the video, which is super easy to do, single endpoint, filtering and generating suggestions using AI. I consider myself pretty good at prompt engineering, so I just whip all these up on my own, and essentially I have them output in JSON like a respun version of what the person, what we want, and then write a new script right over here, which ultimately gets dumped into a Google Sheet. So I understand that not all of this is super interpretable for you, and I may have just been like jumping through things quite a bit. But if you have any questions about like the specifics of this flow, we can make this work with TikTok, no problem. We can make this work with YouTube Shorts, no problem. We can make this work with Facebook Reels, no problem. We could do this with Instagram Reels, no problem. Whatever you need is extraordinarily straightforward. And whether or not you wanted to do it from like Google Drive or Dropbox, there's even ways to do this for like YouTube videos as well. Like, I don't know, if you just wanted me to like take a YouTube link and pump this into a system that just like allows you to pump in any YouTube link and then just automatically repurpose it and then schedule or upload short form, I can definitely do this for you, no problem. Okay. So yeah, another reason why I applied to this is because I saw that you said it was project-based to start, but might evolve into ongoing work. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm not really looking for like a one-off project or something like that. I look specifically for situations where people want to work with me long-term. Because just, historically, I find that those are the organizations that I'm typically able to drive the most revenue for. And that's typically what they care about. Like I want to drive revenue for you. I want to drive savings for you. I want to make your business work more effectively and efficiently. And ultimately just want every dollar that you spend on me to be 10 times the dollars for you. And typically it's just the simplest and easiest way to do this is working together for a long enough period of time that I learn the ins and outs of your business and I kind of speak your language. Okay, so I know your budget is 10 to 20 bucks. I did not mean to bid 75 bucks. I think I meant to bid 45, 50. I understand that I'm a little bit outside of that range. If by chance you are watching this video right now and you've made it all the way to the end, I want you to know that the amount of time it would realistically take me to build one of these things is a fraction of the time it would take more or less anybody else that you could work with. And I'd actually prefer we don't do any sort of hourly billing whatsoever. I just spin these up for you fixed price. We never go over budget. You and I agree to something and then we just move forward from there. Okay, so I'll leave it there, but thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. Bye. Cool. Let's do that last one. Hey, my name is Nick. I'm a process automation engineer, and I've done exactly what you're asking for, specifically with regards to home services, probably over a dozen times. So when I saw this, I thought I was probably one of the best experts on Upwork to solve your needs. Specifically, I actually used to run like a door-to-door marketing company called Pacific Creative Group way back in another life that dealt specifically with helping like local services businesses. We're talking flower shops, we're talking HVAC companies, plumbing companies, and whatever, do a lot of what you're talking about, SEO, Google Ads, and so on and so forth. But nowadays, I'm definitely leaning much harder into AI and automation, which is why when you said AI automation expert, I thought I'd just, apply, throw my hat into the ring and see where things go. So one of the most popular AI automation platforms right now is called NADN. I'm an NADN verified creator, and I actually have a couple templates up right now that other people download to do like business things. So I'm a template creator. I build these templates and I publish them live on NADN's whole creator page. And like thousands of people have seen and downloaded these things and now implement them into their businesses to see a positive return on investment. So that's pretty big. And I say that not to toot my own horn, but also just because like What's one common need? Well, for home services businesses, like let's hypothetically say you're doing some plumbing or HVAC or something. A lot of the time you need like a quote or something, right? Like somebody comes into your flow, they submit a request or they give you a call and you want to quote them. I have systems that like automatically generate quotes using artificial intelligence and then like the job details, and then turns that into a simple, beautiful asset or PDF that you can then send to the client directly, have them sign off on, and then, actually receive payment before end of day. Oftentimes like within an hour or something like that of the quote or the home visit. So I'm not exactly sure what the specifics of this home business was. I mean, you said home services company. So, I mean, there's obviously a variety of different ones that you could do. But yeah, I'd definitely be able to knock it out of the park for you. You also mentioned Jobber, House Call Pro, or Service Titan. Now, I don't have experience with every single one of these platforms. I've mucked around on Service Titan. I think I had one client use Jobber. So that's not, like I don't consider this like the most important part of it because I'm extraordinarily competent at just APIs in general. I can help you with that. But I also have a bunch of recommendations on related platforms that I think might even be better than the ones that you guys are using. So I don't know if you're up to switch, and I'm not trying to make you. More than happy to show my value with like a quick initial project. And once you guys are convinced on that, maybe we could do something a little deeper afterwards. And also, I actually just had a call with the Lindy AI CEO about potentially working together. So, you saying that you want people to use platforms like this, yeah, very familiar with most of these, and I think I'd knock it out of the park. Okay, so just throwing my hat into the ring here. I'm not going to win any awards for this. Hopefully, it was just you and I chatting. If you like what you hear, just send me over a message, because I can't actually respond to anything you do unless you send me over a message, and we'll just sort of take things from there. I have high hopes for this and your business more generally. So give me a shout and we'll see where all of this lands. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Cheers. Okay. So why did I only do 4 there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wasn't there another one? Yeah, that was fine. I skipped over the pipe drive one, didn't I? Hmm. Design, build, and document end to end. And why did I skip over this? Maybe I just didn't really feel confident about this in the moment. Hmm. The thing is, I just don't have like an example I could use pipe drive for, which is really unfortunate. Am I still going to do it? Yeah, I'm still going to do it, man. I don't care. I'm crazy with it. Hey, my name's Nick, process automation engineer. Just saw you were looking for somebody to help you with your pipe drive sales cycle. Thought I'd just blow this out of the water. I used pipe drive in my own business, 1 Second Copy, which was a content writing company. Briefly during our scaling to $92,000 a month. So I'm very familiar with things like stage optimization, with how to lay out a pipeline end to end. Essentially, that this company works is we wrote books, blogs, and magazine articles for hundreds of clients. We leverage artificial intelligence to help us do some of the pre-drafting, and we ended up being one of the fastest growing businesses in Canada specifically for this. So I say this not because I think that is super relevant to what you're asking for, just that I have tons of experience with Pipedrive. I've actually used Pipedrive myself to grow an actual business that focused on revenue and savings, which are outcomes that I imagine you care about. And yeah, I've actually done things for business purposes, not just things that sound nice in practice. Okay. So we no longer use Pipedrive, unfortunately, for this business. I'm still operating this, by the way. It doesn't make as much money as it did before, but it certainly makes some money. Yeah, I think like $20,000 or $25,000 a month. And I just wanted to give you guys a quick example of what it looks like now in another platform called ClickUp. All of the stages and everything like that map over completely the same, but essentially there's just a top-down pipeline that I've separated into a bunch of different like Pipedrive-esque stages. So as opposed to this being like a CRM, I'm doing this specifically for articles that come into the queue, and this is like a good example of what this would look like. I take the process, which is writing a blog post, then I break it down into concrete steps like assigned, writing, editing, ready for submission, and then submitted. Each of these have different people that are best suited to fulfill the gig. So, assigned is obviously just a queue stage, but writing, we have writers on the team. Editing, we have editors on the team. When something moves from the writing stage to the editing stage, the editors are automatically assigned and then get notified. They do the thing, they move it over to the ready for submission stage. The submitters get automatically notified. They do the thing, they move it over. And in this way, we basically have full top-down transparency into how the entire process works, which is obviously extraordinarily helpful. Now, you also mentioned N8N. The reason why I applied to this was because I also have a ton of N8N experience, and I'm also like one of N8N's creators, where I actually publish workflow templates doing all this stuff directly onto their templates page. So if you've ever downloaded an N8N template, it's possible you might have downloaded one of mine. I have 3 main ones right here, and a bunch more that are coming. One is like a personalized LinkedIn connection request with Apollo GPT-4, Apify, and Fandom Buster. Another one's a proposal generator, and the last one automates Instagram content discovery. And I'm very familiar and skilled at these higher level workflows. So, I mean, I prefer focusing less on the complexity of a workflow and more on like what the workflow does for the business. So, if I can make it simpler and then make you more money with it, obviously I'm going to do so. But this is just a quick example of like a practical one that scrapes a bunch of Instagram reels, prevents duplicates, transcribes it, generates change requests, and then writes new scripts before adding it to a database. So whatever, it is that you guys are asking for specifically with this, I'm more than happy to help you. I make sure that everything that I create is fully documented. And my goal is, after I knock this out of the park for you, I'd want to work with you on some sort of longer term basis. Okay. Also you mentioned migrating from Make to N8N. I also have just tons of make.com experience as well. And I actually did that make.com to N8N transition for a bunch of these flows myself. So more than happy to help you with that. We could do it in sort of a semi-automated way where we export the make.com blueprint JSON and then map that to an N8N JSON structure. We have AI to help, format things, make sure things are one-to-one. Then I would just jump in and sort of manually do the connections and integrations and stuff like that afterwards. Okay, hopefully everything I'm saying here makes sense. Really looking forward to hearing back from you. If you have any questions, let me know. But yeah, I'm looking forward at the prospect of working together. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. I think this one was here. And I think total time was 4 minutes, 1 minute, so 5 minutes, 9 minutes, 13 minutes, then 16 minutes. Is that right? So it was about 16 or 17 minutes in order to do this. I always play mine at like 1.2 or 1.5x speed for them. The reason why is because it just makes me seem like a little bit, I don't know, smarter, a little bit better off. But hopefully everything that I've shown you guys so far makes sense and you guys see what that looks like. I'm just realizing now that I don't think I shared my screen for that part again either. That's pretty embarrassing. Well, is what it is. So cool. Now that I have these 5, the question is, how do I actually go about and then, do the application? Well, it's simple. I have this little Upwork sheet here, which I will just copy, then I will paste. I'll remove these little quotes. Then I'll just take this, I'll copy, then I'll paste. Then I will go down, copy, then paste, copy, paste, and then copy, and then paste, right? So now that I have all these, I can actually go through and then start doing the application. So daily football news automation. Well, that was over here, wasn't it? Cool. So now I can go down here, paste this in. Hi, I love football. I would consider myself one of the best scrapers on Upwork right now. Confident I knocked this out of the park. Here's a vid where I build Part of Your Flow live. If you want more details, let me know. Thanks. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, wait, did I bid? Oh, there's no bid. Okay, cool. All right. Let's now move on to the second one. So what does this person want? N8N devs. Give this a paste. Hi, I'd consider myself one of the best N8N devs on Upwork right now. I'm a verified creator as well and make N8N templates all the time. Here's a vid. Here's a vid where I give you some of them live. Okay. Now I can bid, so I'm just going to bid. Let's do 40. Set bid. That's pretty high. Let's send for 53 connects. And numero dos is now good to go. We will now do the third, which was automation extra for repurposing and uploading. Hi, I consider myself one of the best content parasites on Upwork right now. I do what you're asking all day long, all day, every day. Confident I knocked this out of the park. Here's a vid where I build Part of Your Flow live. Let's now copy this, go back here, and then paste it in. How much are people bidding? Wow, really? Man, that's crazy. I'm just going to set bid at 30. Let's give this a go. People should be bidding way more on these. I can't believe that people aren't bidding, man. Should be bidding like 10x what you guys are bidding here. Crazy talk. This one was pipe drive, I think. Copy this in. Let's just say pipeline. Hi. Tons of experience creating pipelines. Profitable pipelines. I've generated. I built a 92K a month business. pipe drive as a big part of it. Here's a vid where I build part of your flow live. Cool. Did I do this? I think I did this. Yes, I did. And this is going to be the last one. So let's scroll down. So, I mean, look how big this gig is. And like people are bidding 13 connects already. You should bid 30. If the person doesn't click on your thing, you don't spend your connects, to be clear. Okay. So what does this person want? Hi, I'd consider myself super qualified for this. Tons of experience in home services and automation. I build an example flow live. I spoke with the Lindy CEO a few days ago. Make.com and N8N for sure, though I have experience with all platforms. I actually spoke with the Lindy CEO a few days ago. Yep. I used to run a wedding videography business, plus a door-to-door marketing firm, automated the majority of customer inbound and inbound G ads and others, and scaled to around $20,000 per month. How do you approach optimizing our lead follow-up? G ads is basically all about fast iteration plus immediately responding to lead inquiries with a semi-automated approach, depending on the vertical. My specific rec would depend on the vertical, but trust me when I say there are a ton of low-hanging fruit we can probably fix. Yep. What's your availability? Do you offer ongoing support? Let's say 2-3 hours a day at the moment, just wrapping up a big contract. Happy to support. Okay, that should be good. Now let's go 30. Set the hell up. Ooh, maybe not 2,630. Maybe we'll just do 30. Then I'll just go send for 51 connects. Oh shit, did I not? Oh, I might not have actually. Is this a DC? Okay, I did. All right, cool. Awesome. So now I just sent 5 of these, which is pretty reasonable. Not the best. Now that I've done so, let's go back here and see if we have any updated results. Okay, looks like we do. A couple of them have said no. Let's now scroll through and let's just hit up these leads. Now that I'm thinking about this, all right, let me just change my video 1 sec. So I think it'll make it high quality again. Okay, it did. Now that I'm thinking about it, guys, like you guys are going to be able to see this, and some people are probably going to try like poaching my leads, which is kind of annoying. So how am I actually going to do this in practice? If I click on this, can you see the email? Yeah, you can. How do I do this? Can you see the email? Yeah, I can. I don't really want to be poached. Like if I'm trying to run this live, there's definitely, like you guys are all doing this too, right? I'm obviously going to be poached. So I should find a way to solve this. How could I solve this? All right, I don't really know. If you guys have any ideas on how I could solve me getting poached, that'd be good. We just know that there are going to be a lot of people that are watching this and they're going to like screenshot the email of every person, then send them a follow-up and be like, hey, I noticed that you were interested in this. And then that's obviously going to completely and utterly ruin any chance I have at selling, which is annoying as hell. Not going to lie, because I've been getting poached a bunch recently, but it's just the price of sharing everything openly, Still, there is an 80-20. I should be able to hide some stuff from you. Like the stuff that actually corresponds to like lead details. So the question is, how do I do it? Maybe I do all of the instantly response management on my phone. And then but that would just take me so much longer. Maybe I do it all on my phone and then I do analytics and stuff and split testing. Yeah, I'm not really sure. If you guys haven't noticed, what I like doing is I like just saying, screw it, let's go. And then I worry about all these tiny little things like getting my leads poached later. And the truth is, I'm going to figure this out like I figure everything else out. But yeah, does definitely have me wondering. I could have like a series of links. I could have 2 screens. I could have one screen where I deal with the stuff, respond to leads or whatever. I could obfuscate big chunks of my screen. Like, okay, what I could do is you see this here, right? I could set it up so that I have an OBS template called like my cold email responder. And then the way that this works is it like hides all of this stuff, right? So the only thing you guys see, even down to here, the only thing you guys see is this. But honestly, even then, a lot of people would like reveal their emails and stuff right there. Hmm. Is there a Chrome extension that just like obfuscates and hides all email? Chrome extension that hides all emails. Oh, I like this. I like this. Oh, this is cool. Hmm. That's cool. Okay, maybe I could do something like this, eh? Hide my email stream. No, it doesn't work. This is actually really cool, but that's not at all what I'm looking to do. Yeah, I mean, like that's a very real problem. Because I want to do these calls, I want to like do everything, but I obviously can't do them if I'm not obfuscating the information in some way. Why does realism have to get in the way of what would otherwise have been an infinite content source? All right, guys, I'm not really sure what I'll do there, to be honest. If you guys could just help me out, give me some feedback. If you guys have any suggestions or angles to this that I'm not seeing, let me know. But yeah, I don't actually want my emails to get poached. I don't want these poor bastards to get 500 emails from other AI automation people that are all like, hey, 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 hey. Just because, just due to scarcity and situations that I understand a lot of my viewership is in, they'll see stuff like this as an opportunity to sacrifice some form of reputation for like short-term financial goals, which I completely understand and empathize with. It's just a matter of like, I should obviously not even allow that to happen in the first place. And so like, what else am I going to do? Like edit these videos? I'm not going to edit these videos because that would just defeat the whole purpose. The whole idea is that I work live and do stuff that I was going to do anyway, but I do it on camera and then I talk about it because one, it's extraordinarily authentic. Two, it's like an awesome repurposable content source. And three, it just shows you guys what the actual process looks like. If I were to try and pump this into some big editing flow and have somebody edit it, then I wouldn't be able to publish them fast. Then it would cost me a bunch of money. And then I'd be adding to like a big process that I just don't really like doing. I want to keep this as lean as possible. So I need to find some way to do this just myself. Maybe I build a Chrome extension that does this just on instantly. Maybe I do that. Maybe I build a Chrome extension that does this just on instantly, and then I backfill my videos 2 days later or 48 hours later or something instead of immediately. Because with the Chrome extension that blocks instantly, I will have dealt with the lead within 48 hours. And then you won't be able to see what I was doing anyway. But if, God forbid, you do, and somebody tries to poach me, then odds are I will probably already have had a call, maybe, possibly. And then it will have been 48 hours later, which will decrease the probability of somebody actually even wanting to engage with you. I feel like that's the way to go. Yeah, I think something like that, but I don't even know if that Chrome extension is even possible. And I'm just like pulling stuff out of my ass at this point. Like, I think that will work. I don't know. Okay, I'll leave it there. Thank you guys very much for your time, as per usual. Hopefully you enjoyed watching me ramble and yap on, as per usual. If you guys like seeing this sort of thing, I do offer daily Q&A and help with exactly what I'm doing today. Inside our Maker School, I give you guys everything, all my templates. I give you guys a step-by-step daily accountability roadmap to get your very first customer using methods like I do here. Everything and more inside of Maker School. So give that a listen or a look through. Thank you very much, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.